The battle for Springfield continues when Destro shows Serpentor and Cobra Commander the futility of standing against superior weaponry. Does Destro put all his enemies in their place? You betcha. And we're going to talk about it right here in our review of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 312 from Image Comics and Skybound. See you in 3. Welcome back to Comical Opinions. This is our review of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 312. Before we dig into the review, how about a quick recap? When last we left the battle for the fate of Springfield in G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 311, all forces converged in the town's sports field. Cobra Commander's plot to ambush Serpentor's invaders worked at first, but the tide turned more than once. The issue ended with Serpentor facing off against Destro on the battlefield, after Destro arrived to seek revenge for Serpentor's double-cross. And that brings us to the current issue. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 312 begins where the previous issue left off. Destro and Serpentor prepare to engage in single combat. Serpentor's mutant strength is more than a match for Destro's skill in hand-to-hand fighting. However, Destro casts aside archaic ideas of honor and calls down a missile strike right on Serpentor's head. Elsewhere, Serpentor's mutant army marches through the ruined streets of Springfield on its way to Cobra Commander's command post in the community center. The lead mutant, however, decides to redirect the army to the Springfield hospital to eliminate future resistance or sneak attacks, just basically knock out easy targets, and prevent anybody from coming up on their rear as they get further down the road. However, the mutants didn't plan on meeting a joint force of Scarlet, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and the Dreadnoks as they guard the hospital where the Baroness receives urgent care. The mutants soon regret their side trip. As the one-sided battle nears its end, Destro arrives looking for the Baroness. Zartan wheels her hospital bed out after her surgery, and Destro orders a Dominator in to transport the Baroness back to Scotland for treatment. Once the Baroness is on her way, Destro vents his rage at the Cobra Commander and Serpentor for the pain he's endured. The issue concludes with Destro calmly walking to the community center where Cobra Commander remains safe and secure, but not for very long. Hey, do you want to be part of our growing community and get exclusive perks? Become a channel member today. By becoming a member, you'll support a channel you love, which is ours because everybody loves it, but you'll also gain access to special badges, emojis, and members-only content. Click the join button below to become part of our family and help us create more of the content you enjoy. Now let's get back to the review. Alrighty, so that's the issue. Let's talk about first impressions. If you've ever had any doubts that Destro is a 100% certified badass, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 312 will put those doubts to rest. Writer Larry Hama doesn't make the journey easy for the world's greatest arms dealer, but Destro reminds Serpentor and Cobra Commander exactly why superior firepower is invaluable in a big battle like the one that's happening in Springfield. If you are a Destro fan, this is the issue for you. Alright, let's switch gears and talk about the artwork. Chris Mooneyham is still on the title, and let's hope he stays that way for a long time because he pulls out all the stops to show readers why Destro is just as capable in a hand-to-hand fight as he is in his command of the battle from a distance. This issue is all about making Destro look powerful, intimidating, and cool at the same time, so Mooneyham focuses every panel on doing just that. So let's switch over to the positives and negatives, starting with what's great about G.I. Joe, Real American Hero number 312. If we've said it once, we'll say it 100 times. You can excuse all the little tricks and ticks and mistakes and foibles and problems and stumbles and potholes and everything else you can think of if a single comic has one big idea and presents it in a compelling way. Larry Hama presents one big idea here, that being the notion that Destro was the wrong person Cobra Commander should have messed with, and gives it to you in a hard-hitting narrative. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to hit that main point. And if you do it right, the comic's going to be a winner. That brings us to the negatives and what's not so great about G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 312. As much as this issue plays up Destro's character as a force to be reckoned with, part of that elevation comes at the expense of Serpentor Khan. The big boss, who's been planning Springfield's invasion for months now, is dispatched, I would say, a little bit too easily in their one-on-one fight. It's one thing to show off Destro as being a badass, that's great, but Serpentor, I think, needed to have at least one or two tricks up his sleeve that Destro didn't account for. And unfortunately, you don't get that here. Now, he could be coming back, we'll see, but for right now, it just sort of looked like an easy win. Let's take a step back and look at the big picture. For new readers who might be confused about G.I. Joe Real American Hero and the other G.I. Joe title, also from Image and Skybound, wondering where they interlap, are they different timelines, where do they fit with each other? The answer is they don't. They don't fit with each other. Larry Hama's A Real American Hero series exists independently from the other G.I. Joe titles or anything happening within the interconnected Energon universe. I know if you've been listening to our reviews or watching our reviews, this sounds like a broken record, but we also have to take into account that every comic is somebody's first comic. So if you're new to it for the first time, we have to put that caveat in so you know that they're completely separate and have nothing to do with each other. So final thoughts, when we think about G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 312, it goes out of its way to ensure the biggest badass in G.I. Joe mythology is the one and only Destro. Writer Larry Hama elevates the world's greatest arms dealer to new heights when he exacts revenge against every enemy, and Chris Mooneyham's art is spectacular. So, is this a recommended issue? Absolutely yes, especially if you are a Destro fan, pick up this issue. Therefore, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 312 earns a 9 out of 10. This is maybe not the perfect G.I. Joe comic, but it's pretty darn good and certainly in the top 10 for the last year. But what do you think? Are you enjoying the continuation of the Larry Hama series since they migrated to Skybound, or do you prefer the new G.I. Joe series that's written by Joshua Williamson? Leave a thumbs up if you found this review helpful, and drop a comment below with which G.I. Joe character is your favorite who isn't a Joe. Is it Destro? Is it Serpentor? Is it somebody else? Let me know in the comments section below. Also, remember to click on the link in the description to read the written review. Check out the variant covers and preview pages and buy this comic to help support the channel. Your support, of course, is greatly appreciated. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. So thank you very much for joining, and stay tuned through the outro for more reviews just like this one.